T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Supercowboy Show. I'm here with my co-host, Princess Angie.
Hey guys!
We're just cutting the intro short.
A bit too short. I'm not used to this.
It's gonna be too short. I haven't even shared it.
I feel thrown off right now.
We're gonna be sharing our feed here.
I feel like it was such a really fast intro. I was like, wait a minute, I am not ready.
Those 30 seconds fly by.
We need another 30 seconds.
Know, right?
We need a redo.
They keep blocking us on YouTube, so we don't want that to happen. So bear with us. We're sharing right now, guys.
In the meantime, that we get some people coming in to see, so we can introduce our guest that we have today.
Exactly. Let's show for a couple seconds. Thank you guys for tuning in and being here with us tonight. We have an awesome guest. There's a big game on Sunday. I'm sharing here real quick.
Ooh, feels weird.
I know. Usually we have a little time to share, so they're with us right here. I just, we don't want
You gotta do it fast. Come on.
But in that case, I want to say thank you to our sponsors. La Sirena Mexican Seafood and Bar on Collins Street, Juana Taco, Front End Inc., and Mr. David Martinez Entertainment. Thank you guys for sponsoring this show. Check them out. Also, we have a toy drive going. So if you go to Juana Taco and you drop off a toy, you get 10% off your bill. So guys, go over there. It's on Belline Road in Grand Prairie. Juana Taco, they have awesome food. Please, it's going to the Boys and Girls Club. So I'm going to be sending all the toys I'll be taking the toys myself to the Boys and Girls Club in Dallas. So please, if you could help, and if not, if you can't take a toy there, you could also DM me, Cash App, Venmo, whatever donations you could do. We appreciate. It's for the kids. It's for as many toys as we can get to them. So appreciate it. So there we shared it. Yeah, I shared it.
Are we ready? Are we ready to get the show started?
I'm going to continue to share it, but let's go. Let's go. We have here none other than all the way from Philadelphia himself.
I was like, wait, are you? I'm like, hold on.
You gotta start the interview.
I was gonna say, hold on.
Mr. Jamie, the Philly sports guy. The Philly sports guy.
I think you gotta redo your intro. I think you have to introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? It's the Philly sports guy here. I'm here on their podcast.
That sounded better. Thank you for that. That's it. Supercowboy, you're done.
I'm done. No more for me.
No more for you.
I got his name wrong too. They got his name wrong in the other show. I'm not going to get it
wrong. Look at that.
I jinxed myself.
Exactly. That's what I was looking at. You're like, what are you doing? But thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. And I'm still trying to share it. I finally found it. I was like, oh, now I'll start to share it. So.
I know it's a little weird because we normally have time to share it, but we're trying not to get blocked.
That's behind the scenes.
Understood. Hey, I know all about it. I've had numerous podcasts.
There you go.
Yeah, some of my best work winds up going, because of music.
Yes. I hate it. I always
we used to have the intro music, and we used to have a good time, with music and different songs and stuff, and then they kept blocking us right in the middle of the show. So now it's no music at all. It's just us talking.
You know what? And I it's hard to deal with. So you have to go find free music,
exactly.
and then you got to figure out okay, what type of, so there's so much free music out there.
Yes.
Just to be able to get the right sound to start off a podcast, and then hope that somebody in India decides not to say, hey, no, that's my song, and
yes.
make you go through all of that stuff as well.
Because that totally makes sense that it's there. So.
Exactly.
But thank you so much for coming on. So I want to know, because apparently he's already saying you're from Philly. Is that where you're from?
I am from just outside Philadelphia in a place called Delaware County, Pennsylvania, Delco.
Okay, and I'm over here like trying. You can't wait, Super Cowboy, man. So before we talk football, obviously we're going to talk football. Big game coming up this weekend, but I want to first get to kind of know a little bit about you. That's kind of my thing. I want to know about you, who you are, and you already told me, you are from Philly. So I want to know: have you always been an Eagles fan?
Always.
So you grew up being an Eagles fan?
From as far back as I can remember, I started becoming a sports fan in general at 1-2 years old. My mother and my grandmother both worked at the stadium, so at the Spectrum at the time, and then Veterans Stadium. Okay. So I always had access to the stadiums at all the time. So it wasn't a big deal for some of the athletes because my mother and my grandmother were waitresses, and they worked in the clubs at the stadium. So afterwards, the players would go in, and you would get to so they would know them. Like my mother and my grandmother would always have Flyers, Philadelphia Flyers, come over with the hockey team, and they would play pinochle upstairs while I was downstairs playing with the kids at 3 and 4 years old. Yeah. So it was nothing to think about. The athletes were friends. You know what I mean? It was just I was always around it, so it was never a really big deal to me. Yeah. But always Philadelphia. I was an Eagles fan, and the Eagles stunk back then in the 70s, early 70s. It wasn't until Dick Vermeil came around.
So not a Cowboys fan.
No, never a Cowboys fan. I was never a Cowboys fan.
I just wanted to make sure,
I don't think he dresses like that to be a Cowboy fan.
No.
Hey, you never know. That's just kidding.
I was just kidding. Look at that.
Exactly. It's like maybe underneath there's some stars going on.
Nope, not at all.
I see some boots on,
Oh.
Hey, listen. Good footwear is
it's hard to find.
Exactly. But you know what? And I love cowboy boots. I even have a couple of cowboy hats at home, but they're not sports related.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you could have brought that. I'm just kidding.
I don't have a green and silver one.
Hey, we know somebody that makes hats from all teams.
There you go. Another sponsor. And this segment is brought to you by Hats for You.
Exactly.
He's a super fan. Big Val. He makes hats for other teams, cowboy hats. So awesome. He spray paints them on them. So
has he made an Eagles hat?
I don't think he has, but he could. You don't mind.
See, it's something like that. I would have to get something very specific. If I was going to do something like that, it would have to be very specific. Yeah. But I would rock it.
Yeah.
That would be something cool.
We'll get this done. I was telling him we were talking about going to Philly, so. Hey, you never know. Maybe he'll fly in with me. We don't know.
We'll get to that point in a little bit. Like I said, I want to get to know him first, and then we'll talk football, and then we can.
But then maybe
go
you
on
won't like him if you get to know him. Nice way.
I hear that all the time too.
I was gonna say he probably not like me, so it's okay. But so then, basically, you were saying you kind of grew up being in the stadiums and all that. So your mom, because you mentioned your mom and your grandma, are they sports fans?
Well, they were. Okay. Obviously, they both have passed on. However, it's it's like again they grew. They worked there, so if the team was doing well, they were doing well. So they're always pushing for the team to do well because people spend more money when the team is good. When the team's no good. Nobody's showing up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's part of the thing. I mean, growing up in the 70s, I remember they used to have blackouts all the time. Yeah. So now it's so different because one, you can't buy a ticket into the stadium and into Lincoln Financial. It's the wait list for our season tickets is ungodly.
Yeah.
And it's sold out every game. So it's always a challenge to get a ticket. but it's like that. Even like with the Phillies, it's a little different. Other sports, it's a lot different. But the Eagles has always been difficult. But back then, it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like you would.
Them away. Come on.
Yeah, I remember the television station having to buy the tickets so that they could show it on TV. That's what would happen. They'd have to buy like 4,000 or 5,000 tickets to be able to show it on TV because they wanted the revenue. Yeah. And it was worth it for them to buy the tickets so that they could lift the blackout.
Okay. So when did you say, like, I'm going to be like an Eagles fan, or I am an Eagles fan?
3, 4 years old.
You were like, that's it.
I remember at 6 years old going to the practice. The practice would happen right up the street from where I lived.
That's great.
So they would practice at Widener University, and I lived in Ridley, which is literally right down the street.
Yeah.
So I would go to the practices, you know, and watch them practice and stuff like that. And that was still when they weren't so good, but they were monsters to me. Like these guys were just huge, so big, and I was playing Pee Wee football at the time. So it was like you looked up to that. You're like, this is what I want to do, and this is how I want to play. And, so it was fun to kind of get that type of fandom, and then. Being from Philadelphia, I mean, it's ingrained in you. Like, my daughter's first words were "Fly, Eagles, fly."
Really?
You know, absolutely. I mean, she got "Mama, Dada, fly, Eagles, fly."
No way.
You know what I mean? That was, and she was a little bit of a late talker. Like she was like, I don't want to say nonverbal, but my son was always talking for her. So. Around 3 years old, she finally, you know, it was like she was the mom, dad, and you know, and then "Fly, Eagles, fly," and it just came out like she tried to sing the song "Fly, Eagles, fly, fly, Eagles, fly," and that was her first words.
Was that like your proudest moment? You're like, yes,
kind of, yeah. especially since the mother of my children is a Cowboys fan.
Ooh, where's she at? Where's she at?
She's a buster.
She needs to come. No, just kidding.
So how was that? So you met her in Philly?
So we met, and like not during football season. She was also a Flyers fan. So we met watching hockey games and doing all that stuff. And we got pregnant very early in our relationship. And September comes around and she's like, you know, I'm a Cowboys fan.
What?
I'm like, what? I'm like, how does that happen? She goes, well, I was born and raised in Dallas. So I was like, okay. I mean, I can understand that. So I told her, I says, you pick the religion, I pick the football team. So at 6 years old, my son comes up to me and says,
he's a Cowboys fan?
Dad, I'm going to be a Cowboys fan. And I turned to him and I tell you, it's just so funny to me because it's like, it was like he came out of the closet. And I'm like, you know, I'm going to love you. It doesn't matter. I'm always going to love you. However, I am telling all of your friends that you're a Cowboys fan. She's like, you can't do that. I'm like, oh, yes, I can. He lives in Philadelphia. He better learn what it's like right now to be a Cowboys fan in Philadelphia. Yeah. And it shortly thereafter, I mean, especially because it's me, and then there's her, you know what I mean? She's, she's like a passive Cowboys fan out of Philadelphia. You know, I am the Philly sports guy. So shortly after, he's like, yeah, I don't like football. Now he's an Eagles fan. So it's like, turned him. Exactly.
So I see where you were going with that. Yes, son, I love you, but eventually.
Listen, he's got to be able to make his own decisions. And then when he gets to see me out there and enjoying myself, see, the thing is that as tough of a skin that Philadelphia fans have, truth of the matter is that we all have a blast. We have a lot of fun. We're very passionate. We're very vocal. But it's also a lot of fun. You know, it's like Philadelphia fans, even when our team's not doing well, they have fun talking about how bad they are and how they can get better and how they should get better. Everybody's got an opinion, and that's really
the team.
That's really kind of fun. You know what I mean? That's where I feel the fun of being a fan is when you are so ingrained. Philadelphia is a very unique spot to have. You know, they absolutely wear the Eagles' wins and losses on their shirts. You know what I mean? It's definitely close to their heart. It's not even on their sleeve. It's like up on the shoulder. You know what I mean? Because it affects work.
Yeah.
The following week. I mean, it was a tough couple of weeks for Philadelphia after the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we got there. It was a great run. We didn't really expect to be there, and then here we are. We're in the Super Bowl, and are only a minute away from winning it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, especially after 5 years ago when we won it in 2017, 2018. It's like it brings the whole city together, and then there's this huge, and
it's like
and
so close.
Exactly.
It's like but as Eagle fans, I feel like you guys have like a bad rap though, and you see all these videos, right? And you see, and it's like, and hearing you talk, it seems like it's different than what I'm seeing.
It is a lot different. I mean, the national media loves to beat up Philadelphia. When you think about it, Philadelphia is like the first one at Veterans Stadium to have the jail in the stadium, which was really a holding cell. And truth of the matter is that most of the stadiums have the holding cell. Nobody likes to talk about it, but they all got it. You know what I mean? And because there was always people that were going in there. Hey, listen, the Veterans Stadium, the 700 level Veterans Stadium was like being in the black hole in Oakland. Right. It was being like in the dog pound in Cleveland. Yeah. Those were the ones that you don't go in there wearing opposing colors because it's not good. You spend the money and get down closer to the front. To the bottom.
We got to spend some money.
So I mean, but it's a lot different now. It's much different now.
Is it? Definitely. Because what I see is just
because you only see like. All right, there's one video that shows up for the Eagles game and it goes super viral because of that.
Yeah.
I mean, Kansas City, somebody got shot and killed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They have this stuff. I mean, there's so much worse stuff going on everywhere. I like that one beer that got thrown at the Minnesota Vikings fan from some punk kid who was way too drunk, who threw a full beer, at somebody. It's like, first off, that guy should have gotten decked anyways. Yeah. But besides the point, that video went everywhere viral, and then every Minnesota fan made up a story about how bad they were treated. Mm-hmm. Come on now. It's like, come on. It's like, I get it, and it's low hanging fruit as it's called.
We're gonna see, because I'm not gonna go out there and be pumping up and be yelling and getting crazy. So we'll see how it goes. We wear a mask and stuff like that. So,
but listen, True Blue's the same way.
Yeah, he's been out there.
He's been out there a few times. Jamie's been out there with me. Balls Mahoney.
Yeah.
When they're around me, it's a little different. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to allow that to happen. You know what I mean? I'll step right in the middle of something. Yeah. And I have protected opposing fans from over abusive, people. You know what I mean? Like when I step in, it's like, that's it. That's the end of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I'm now on his side, so you're not going to go through me. Yeah. And I try to calm it down. So
that's what's cool about it. That most of the super fans are like that. Most of them will step in and calm everybody down.
It's like, listen, there's so many kids around and stuff like that.
Exactly.
You throw one F-bomb, okay. You start using it every other sentence, and I got to say something. You know what I mean? It's like, there's kids around. Yeah. And then, of course, the moment what happens is that when a superfan says something and they get flack back, now everybody else who was afraid to say something jumps on. Yeah. So it makes it a lot easier to do that. Yeah. That's what makes our voice sound so much louder. Absolutely. Because it's just the fact that, hey, I'm just showing respect to everybody else around.
Well, when I have a good time, that's it.
Exactly.
Why are we going to be here, cussing each other out back and forth?
Hey, listen, as much as I love the Eagles, they are not my mother, and I do not have to defend their honor. You know what I mean? It's like that's just how I feel about it. Yes. I mean, I'm a lot different than some fans where I don't wear the losses. Once we've lost, they don't pay me enough money to care. You know what I mean? I love my team, and I can be very critical after the game about why they lost and such. Yeah. But they lost. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, when they pay me millions of dollars, I'll care.
I know.
Now I care.
I saw after the last loss that there was like fans out there with like big signs saying like "run the ball," and they were going crazy.
Well, you know what? And So stuff like that is, I mean, I can appreciate what it is that they want to try to get across.
Yeah.
Running the ball wasn't the problem. You know what I mean? Like that team last week, the team was tired. They were tired. They played 3 games in 13 days, going up a team that had 10 days off and played 1 game in like 19 days.
So that's what we're going to go with, that they were tired.
I thought they were
I'm just asking.
They were tired. I mean, it was we scored more points than you guys did against them.
Wow. Like, it's not like a lot more.
Not like a lot more, but that doesn't matter, does it?
I mean, come on. Are we going to talk football already? Because I'm not done.
Don't take your shoe off. She's not to take shoes off.
But let's go back a little bit before we start getting into back to exactly. Back to you. When did this all start with you kind of painting your face?
Well, the name.
Oh, so let's start off with the name. Okay, let's start off with the name first.
The name or the painting?
The painting. So I was painting up I've been painting up for 20 some years, and I've been painting up at away games. I wouldn't do it at home games. There was somebody else who was in the stadium who has a very similar look to me, Sean, a Hall of Fame fan, great Eagles fan, and was doing it for a long time. So I kind of paid a certain respect level not to do it at the stadium, but I would do it at away games. Yeah. And as I started to grow in notoriety for the away games, I started to go to more away games. Yeah. People were like, well, why aren't you doing it at home? Yeah. And then I thought about it, and it's like, why don't I do it at home? Like, it's not like the shoulder pads and face paint is a one-person thing.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? It's like anybody can do it. You know what I mean? And I want everybody to do it. I'd love for everybody to come in shoulder pads and face paint. It would be cool for me. You know what I mean? That would be awesome.
Yeah. Get a whole group together.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it just shows a fandom. Right. You know, it's not for everybody. You know, not everybody wants to paint their face. Yeah. Not everybody loves me painting my face. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But and how the name came about was in a playoff game. I went down there, and it was my first time going full bore. Like, I had the shoulder pads, I had the pants. I went to the stadium. It was a playoff game between the Eagles and the Saints, and it was where Alshon Jeffrey missed the ball. You know, the ball slipped out of his hands. Yeah. And I had gone to the stadium. I got in there 3 hours early. I was nonstop. It was like, the adrenaline was pumping so bad. I just was going nuts from the moment I stepped in the door until the last play of the game where we lost. You know, and it was, and they made a video of me, and that video went viral. And a production company asked me to do a commercial, and they had me come in. And they says, "We love your energy. You're like the Philly sports guy. You should see if that name's available."
What?
And it was. Yeah. And they said, we'll teach you how to do social media. And they said, learn hashtags, make some videos, just do it. Yeah. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And, it was like I was telling my mother, who was on her deathbed at the time, and, she was like, back when you were like 9-10 years old, you asked me, why don't people paint up for all the other sporting events? Why does it only seem to be football? And I said, well, what did you say? She goes, I don't know, go outside and play. But it kind of, like, she just says, if you want to do this, do it. We're only above the grass for so long. Go out and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, that's crazy that you had it since like back. And it's like I wasn't judging you at all, but I feel like
yes, you were.
Secretly, no, just kidding. No, I was not. But I feel like it changes me listening to my questions and the way you're answering, like especially with like your face paint. That you didn't want to do it at first because of home and having somebody. That just shows that you do care as a person, and that it's kind of like, okay, why not do it? But it showed the respect for somebody else that that you were giving.
Absolutely, and I like it's I was brought up old school Italian. You know what I mean? Respect is a thing that's beaten into you. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes. So, and that's just one of those things that it's like, okay, this person is the one doing that. I'm going to pay respect to that, and my look has is kind of mimicked after his, like, and that's done out of respect for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like that. I mean, I do something completely different than what Sean does. Sean has been doing it for 22 years at home. He's been a season ticket holder. He's been going to all these games. I was not going to all those games like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was watching from home, and they would want me sometimes to paint up while I'm at the bar and whatever, and I just was like, no, it's a, it's like that one commercial. If you're all painted up and you're not at the game, you're a clown. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I felt about that. It was like, I'm not going to do that. Now I don't care.
Okay.
Now it's different.
I was going to say, well, I appreciate you coming. All dolled up.
Yes.
It is. Like, hey, listen, the great thing about this makeup is when I want it off, I can just wipe it off and it's gone.
Okay, good. So does it take you hours?
No, it does not.
Okay. So your hair, once it's not up, do you just
I just slick it back.
So that's like your normal, just like kind of.
Well, yeah, I live with the mohawk. Obviously, it's not something that I can hide.
Yes.
I've tried it a number of different ways. Like, let me try to do the messy look and just kind of let it sit over here, and then it looks like a bad toupee. So it's like I'm like, I'll just slick it back.
Right there.
Exactly.
Like, I'm gonna go with the mohawk, and that's it. I'm not going with anything else.
Well, and it used to be green all the time. Like, I would do it for Eagle season, I would keep it green.
Yeah.
The hard part is that when it was green and I wanted to go to a different game, it was hard to make it change the color. So now I keep it either bleached or my natural color because it's hairspray.
Yeah.
The
hairspray falls off. You get. Yeah.
Do you want to read some comments? I see some comments on there.
Yeah.
Before we keep going.
Let's do it. We got Brandon here says, wait, what? He's like, you're going live on Friday? Yeah, we've been doing Fridays. Brandon, where you been?
We've been busy on Saturdays.
You miss us on Saturdays. Diamantina Martinez says, hello, Supercowboy, Princess Angie, and guests. Hello.
Hello.
Cabalorian says, woohoo, Supercowboy, Princess Angie. What's up, Cabalorian? What does he says? He also says, going to Philly, going to need large Cowboy crew, seeing what happens with Niners. Can't imagine what Cowboy fans will get. Hey, we got Jamie. We're going to roll with Jamie. Say, we're doing a big group. We're doing a big group next year, so put your name on the list.
You have our backs, right?
Put your name on the list.
Like I said,
I was like, hold on.
To a certain point.
And listen, the one thing I can't do, here's what I tell people: wear your thick skin, and if you don't engage and ask, you don't have to become one.
I feel like, though, like as a Cowboy fan, if you're a Cowboys fan, you already have to have thick skin anyway, type of thing. But I feel like
but it's a lot different. It's a lot different here. The reason why Cowboys fans get such a bad rap in Philadelphia, it's the Philadelphia Cowboys fans, because they bring on that Philadelphia attitude with also being a Cowboys fan. And you could tell, like, half of the reason why they're a Cowboys fan was because they got beat up, at the lunch table or something. You know what I mean? They were rebelling against their parents or something for some reason.
Be a Cowboy fan.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's where I feel like most of it. I felt like Dallas fans that live in Dallas.
I feel the same way about people from Texas that are Eagle fans. There's always one in a family, and I'm like, they're just doing it to like mess with the whole rest of the family.
That's what it is. And because of the flack they get, like you get the banter.
Yeah.
Like I would say that I'm a proximity guy. You know what I mean? Like if you live in the Dallas area, you should be a Cowboys fan. You know what I mean? Now if you came from somewhere else and now you're here, and you migrated here, well, then that's a different story. Right. You know what I mean? But I grew up an Eagles fan. It doesn't matter where I go in the world, I'm always going to be an Eagles fan.
Right.
I'm never, so even if I move to Dallas, and I've said, like, God forbid my son ever got drafted. Like, if he ever played football and got drafted on the Cowboys, I would wear a Cowboys jersey with my son's name on it, because I am always going to love my son, and whoever pays his check is going to do that. However, I'm still going to root for him to lose.
Whoa.
Well, we should ask that to Dallas. Dallas, your tight end over there. His dad is a big Cowboy fan. Named him Dallas.
Yeah.
And now he plays for the Eagles.
You want to keep reading the comments?
Yeah, I got a couple more here. Timmy Rothman. He says, Jamie. I guess you know him? Timmy?
Probably, yes.
DJ Raleigh. Hey, what's up, DJ Raleigh?
We're stuck up there.
Uh-oh. Frozen. Yep. Oh, it's coming back. I'm like, it's coming back.
Go for
We
it.
got DJ Kai. Cool guest, but I can't wait for Sunday night. Our home streak will continue. Here we go. What's up, DJ Kai?
You have to make the here we go better. Come on.
Here we go. Anthony Trubia. Can't wait for a great game this Sunday. Win or lose, I'll forever love my Eagles. At the end of the day, we all just want to have fun. Absolutely.
Yes.
That's what we're all about here at the Super Cowboy Show. We have a lot of super fans from a lot of teams. And I do want to say here live in studio is the first time we have an Eagle fan. And nobody believed me. And they always said, no, you will never have an Eagles fan. And here we go. We got Jamie here.
Yeah.
Favorite
So thank you
sports
for
guy.
coming on.
And listen, I'm glad to be able to break, to pop the cherry, as you will. You know what I mean? It's
But they're like, no way, you would never have an Eagle fan. I'm like, I know a couple.
Yeah,
I know a
and
couple.
it's different because we're fans of all fans, right? And it's like I'm not here to like bash you, and that's why I said I want to get to know you because that's really what I want to do.
Well,
Like,
And that's what we do in this show. Like, get to know the super fans, where they come from, why, this and that. That's our
and
thing.
we'll talk
so
about
one of the things I feel like as being a super fan is that, I mean, I've done a number of different concepts to get to this point here.
Mhm.
So the reason why I have such a notoriety is because I come up with different shows on the fly. Like I would go around with my phone and I would do opposing fan interviews.
Mhm.
And I would just find an opposing fan and have an interview with them right there on the spot.
Yeah.
You know, and of course I'm all painted up and they're looking normal. You know what I mean? And so they don't know what to expect.
Yes.
Right.
And you beat them up a little bit,
Right.
but you keep it friendly because you want them talking.
Exactly.
You beat me up too much, I ain't going to talk. All right, now what?
Exactly.
What good of a show is that?
Exactly.
So it's a matter of keeping it. You got to keep it lighthearted, keep it fun. You know, like I said, we're all fans, and we
Yeah.
don't go to work the
And
next
that's why I
go.
sent Angie to the opposing teams at the stadium. Like, you go talk to them.
Well, and I can imagine it's a lot easier for her to than for you to.
Sometimes. There's some fans that still give her stuff.
Of course, as they should. They should give you a little bit. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what I want. That's what I'm going after. If I can find somebody who's going to
Yeah,
be able
you
to
want
banter
that,
back
yeah.
and forth with me,
Yeah.
I'm going to stay and talk to them longer.
Yeah.
Because it's fun at that point. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's going to give me a lot better content.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like then like who knows? They might say a line that I'm going to steal for the next guy. You know what I mean?
That's what we went looking for Sneaky G that last Giants game. Where is he? I'm over here. You better get over here. Angie needs to talk to you.
Come on.
We're going to find you.
More comments.
Yeah,
Go.
we got some
People are
more comments
commenting.
real quick. Luis Garcia, SCDC, all the way from California. Says strong arm, cowboy emoji. What's up, bro? DJ Kai. We meeting for drinks after the show? Hey, drinks.
Hey, 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 hey.
I'm not opposed.
We got Bob Henry, Jamie, my favorite super fan, he says.
Aww.
I appreciate that,
We
Bob.
got Matthew Harmon. Dallas Cowboys will win on Sunday Night Football. Let's go, Cowboys. What's up, Matthew? We got Glama Woo. Don't leave no bird crap on my girls. GC. Looking up for your seat, Angie. Luis Garcia says, let's go to Philly. So, yeah, we're talking with Luis, that big fan club
Yes.
over there. We're talking with him and doing a Philly trip next year. So, definitely we're going to work on that right away at the beginning of the year, next year. But, yeah, we should be out in Philly. So, hey, Jamie, we're coming.
All right, I'll be there. I'll be waiting.
I still need him to say on live that he has our back because I'm going to
He's not gonna
use
say that.
like, guys, do not mess with me.
Glamour says joking, by the way. She put laughing emojis. You know we're joking. You know we're joking. Bob Henry. See you in Detroit, Jamie, for the NFL draft. Go Broncos. Okay, he's a Bronco fan. All right, bro. What's up? I'll be out there too.
Yeah.
DJ Kai Luis Garcia, we already on it, bro. Yeah, we've been talking. We have been talks with Canadian guys, UK guys to go to Philly, and Cowboy fans from here, Texas, Arizona, and California so far. But the list is growing, so we'll see how that goes. Bob Henry.
Hopefully it's not a bad day.
Yeah.
Because Christmas time
Exactly.
makes it. That's why I've come to Dallas for the last 7 years. I missed last year because it was Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And Santa Claus doesn't wait for football games.
Exactly.
So it's like that's. So I was home.
Yeah.
I remember doing the podcast. I did a live, painted up at a bar where I just did it that entire time, just watching that game, and it was a really good game. I mean, it was Minshew. Obviously, it wasn't Hurts.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's why I'm glad about the first game that happened this year. It was the first time that Dak actually went up against Hurts.
Yeah,
and
hopefully it's an early game next year, so it's not crazy cold or snowing or something. So we'll
sounds
see.
like a little bit of whining already.
I'm over here in shorts. People can't see it. I'm always hot. But Bob Henry says, Jamie, do the Eagles flapping your arms.
Go Birds.
Chris Moreno, what's up, guys? Uber One SCDCFC. I like the shirt. Thank you. If you guys want to purchase some shirts, I have them. I have the Super Cowboy ones, and these are the Super Cowboy Show t-shirts. We got Marco Herrera, Fly Eagles Fly. I am Marco Herrera, Raider Octopus Advisor, Go Birds. So, hey, he's a guy that works here at the radio station.
Nice.
He's an Eagle fan. Adolfo Torres, Cowboys #1, baby. What's up, bro? And then our last comment for now says, Cowboys Nation, DC for life, stand up, let's go. Johnny Diaz, what's up, bro? Thank you for tuning in. We are here with Jamie, the Philly sports guy. And Angie doesn't have her sign today, but it's usually the hot seat. Angie's hot seat. But where were we?
Okay, so I feel like time is going by so fast, though. I'm looking at the time and I'm like, man,
I told you. I said we get talking, and it's next thing you know,
exactly. But
I've got nowhere to be, so I'm
we got all night here. The game's not until Sunday.
I know. I was gonna say it's not until Sunday, but so let's talk football now. Let's have a little. If that's okay. Do you have any questions for him before I move on and talk football?
Your favorite Mexican food? Do you like Mexican food at all? And what's your favorite?
You know what? I do love Mexican food, and you know what? Real ceviche.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Ceviche. All right.
Yeah, it's like there's a one place I used to own a chimney sweep and a masonry company.
Nice.
And we used to have like meetings, like business meetings, and this Mexican restaurant that was absolutely out of this world.
Nice.
And I wish I could pull the name. It's been like 6 years since I've been there, but it's still there, and it's still like amazing food.
We should go to La Sirena and get some drinks. They got ceviche. It's a seafood Mexican restaurant.
Nice.
Yeah, so they got ceviche there for sure.
Yeah, so and that's the first time I had that, I was like, oh my god, I want this all the time.
Yeah.
And so yes, I can definitely.
Ceviche.
Nice.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
See, I got all the tough questions.
Okay. Any more questions?
No, but I do want to show up this. I just got this the last game. Right before the last game, it came in the mail. I want to say shout out to El Rey de Michoacán.
Just make sure you're speaking in, Mike.
El Rey de Michoacán.
Okay.
And it lights up, guys. So if you guys are looking for a chain, boom.
Whoa.
If you guys looking for a cowboy chain, hit up El Rey de Michoacán on TikTok and also El Rey Michoacán on Instagram, guys. He has these chains for sale. He hooked me up, and like I said, those are cool, especially like it was a Thursday night game against the Seahawks, so that was pretty cool to have that lit up. It's really bright and cool, and then I'm going to be sporting it on Sundays, so Sunday night football, you can't miss me. So if you're looking for Super Cowboy out there, it's the dude with that big-ass bright star walking around. Definitely. Well, thank you.
Amongst other things, but just in case you couldn't recognize him every other way.
I was letting him be. I was like, okay, let him be. Just, poor thing.
We got a couple more comments. John Hoffert, go Birds. Yeah, he says. Cherry Godmother, One Star One Family. What's up? One Star One Family. They're rolling deep 2 Eagles with us too to Philly. Johnny Diaz, that's dope. Thanks. Johnny Diaz, stand up. That's DJ Kai song, stand up. Who could play those songs?
I don't know.
Look into it.
I feel like I don't. We're doing good right now. This interview's going good. Okay, don't mess it up now.
Music. Don't put it. We could put sound effects though.
Oh my God. Anyways.
That's one here for Potra Lobos. Hello from Los Comadres del Metroplex and MJ Snack Shack. Go Cowboys. What's up? Go Cowboys.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, so let's get into this game.
All right, so let's talk about a big game coming up. Sunday Night Football. Cowboys versus Eagles at AT&T Stadium here in Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling? And honestly, let's talk football, let's not just because, you're an Eagles fan. Like, how are you feeling about the game?
Actually, I feel pretty good about it.
Do you?
I think that I look at last week and I look at how the 49ers had that game circled on their calendar.
Yeah.
They tried to win the NFC Championship game from last year in that game.
Yeah.
They didn't. They did beat us.
Yeah.
And they beat us pretty handily. And what made me a little nervous towards the end was that the guys, you could tell that the Eagles were just so gassed. And they were running at like 80%. And the 49ers were still flying around the field. Yeah. So the fact that, like, when I saw that Swift, that hit towards the end of the game, that was like yes, they are so tired now that's what's happening. When you run at 80%, the other guy's running at 100%. You have bad collisions for your guys. And I think that was the reason why Jalen Hurts didn't run around yet. Like, he didn't use his legs more frequently. Mm-hmm. Even when he did, the referees were really weird on how they just put the whistles in their pockets. Mm-hmm. Like, he got pushed out of bounds. Like, he was already out of bounds and he got pushed, and you could say it was a close play, but they've thrown flags for much less. Yeah. And that happened. And then certain things that had just occurred, like where the flags didn't occur, it's like, all right, it's all going to go against us here. Mm-hmm. That's fine. You know what I mean? Just let's get through it. Let's remain healthy. Yeah. And that was the important part.
And it's crazy you saying that, though, because, like, in the other games, it's kind of like you hear it all the time afterwards, like, the refs were going with, like, the Eagles.
I've never seen them put the Eagles jersey on the refs. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, are you kidding me? That's so funny. I'm used to seeing that in the Patriots. Like, the Eagles are never the ones getting, they're getting all the calls. Yeah.
That Cowboys-Eagles game, there was some iffy calls in that game.
Well, you know what? But there was across the board. I mean, refereeing is not big.
Micah is just getting held like crazy, and they're not calling it.
That's
just how it goes.
That's part of what happens.
Yeah.
Right. All right, now you got to figure out how to break the holds. Yeah. That's what they're telling me that is going to happen. Yeah. They're going to hold you a little bit. You got to learn how to break those holds. Yeah. And because trust me, you don't think Michael Strahan, you don't think that, like Jim Jeffcoat, I mean, I have a podcast with him that I do every Sunday morning. Yeah. He got helped. You know what I mean? I with Hollis Thomas, I travel around with him. He got helped. You know what I mean? It's just, you got to figure out how to break the holds. You can cry about the refs all you want, but the refs aren't going to decide that. It's still going to be a matter of talent. And that's why Micah Parsons does it. Like, he'll mention it to the refs, like, yo, man, this guy's holding a little bit more than he's supposed to. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you got the whole arm around the neck and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I said, when you're holding the jersey and it's going like this.
There's holds in every play. Right. Every single play in the line, there's holds.
But that's, you got to, like I said, they're going to call certain things and not call certain things. Yeah. So when you have that much talent, it's up to you to break that.
Yeah. So. But you don't feel like Jalen Hurts, he wasn't running as much because there is the hole that he's kind of injured?
I didn't look at it like that as much. Because the game before, he kind of won that game with his legs. Yeah. Against Buffalo, I think a game that we really shouldn't have won. Yeah. Like, I kind of looked at Buffalo as a trap game for us. Mm-hmm. And we wound up pulling it out in overtime, which kind of was more a testament to the guys themselves. Mm-hmm. It was like, okay, damn, this is, they're playing their best. They're playing good football and beating good teams, but not playing their best game. Mm-hmm. And I think that, you're going to probably see closer to their best game this week. Because I feel like they want to get back at the Chiefs, you could say, but they want to win the division. It's been 18 years since there's been back-to-back winners of the division.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since I've remembered the Cowboys and the Eagles having. I mean, it's always been close, but not such good records between us this late in the season, where there's only been 5 losses between us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's a testament to that these are good teams here.
Yeah, definitely.
And this has been a lot different. I thought the Cowboys were going to implode this year. I thought that this was set up for a season for your coach to just lose the team completely. So it's actually been a little bit of a surprise for me, because I kind of thought that things were just going to start to fall apart. And once you start losing games, bickering starts to occur, and that's you start to have inner fighting and such, and that you would have the defense versus the offense type of situation.
It was like that in the early parts of the season. Win one, lose one, win one, lose one. So I'm like, here we go. We're gonna go again with.
Well, and that's kind of the way I looked at it. I thought. I mean, like he says, I don't mind you guys having your coach, because I don't think he's a good coach. But that's, again, that's somebody who's on the outside looking in. You know what I mean?
I could say the same thing. I don't know about being a good coach. I hate the Eagles coach. I hate him. I just, the way he goes about it. You guys have a good team. He shouldn't be the way he is. You guys have a good team, and he just loves to do all that jumping around and saying stuff to fans. And I'm like, you don't need to do that. You're falling into that ego, the media, kind of deal. Like, okay, that's a Philly thing. That's.
And listen, I'm a firm believer that, like, go ahead and do that if you want, but you live and die by the sword. You know what I mean? That's what you got to do. You got to be able to take the criticism. You got to be able to deal with it, and you got to be. If you're going to dish it out like that, you got to be able to take it. You know what I mean? That's how I deal with it. I love to banter back and forth. I love to talk smack. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid to say that Dallas sucks. You know what I mean? But I also can take it. And as long as we're talking about football, and it doesn't listen, I can take. You paint your face. All the funny stuff that comes with that. But once you start going below the belt, then it's different. I don't need to engage.
That's just me. That's just me personally. I like the Tom Landrys. I like the guys. They coach. That's it. They coach the team, and the team went out there and did their thing. That was it. They didn't say much. They just did their thing, and they were.
It's a whole different world now.
It's a whole different. So it's younger coaching. Compared to, like, you also have the Miami coach. He's different as well. So you now start seeing.
And he's like a goofball. He's like a dork of sorts. But he's just a very strong football mind. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So it's that difference of what we say on the new generation.
But then you got the guy out in LA who's the punch the face. You just want to smack his face because he's like, you were the next best thing. You won one Super Bowl.
The Rams one? Yeah, my brother's a Rams fan.
And then he wanted to retire. You know what I mean? It's like, we won, so now let me quit.
Yeah. Exactly.
I can't stand. That's what I can't stand. I would rather see the passion. You know what I mean? To be in Philly is not easy. When you're a player or a coach in Philadelphia, it's not simple. So certain people get it. And like I said, his personality kind of matches the city song.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say.
It matches the city, and it matches the perspective of being, from Philly, or being, our coach for the Eagles. But it rubs me the wrong way. I hate it. I don't like it. That's just me personally.
Okay.
I like to score a touchdown, give the ball away. I just saw that Barry Sanders documentary. It was awesome. He would score a touchdown, give the ball to the ref, and walk away. But is it cool when they do all these cool, dances and stuff when they score a touchdown? Yeah, it's cool. I like it. Sometimes I'm that's kind of cool. I'm just old school.
I can't stand. You know what I can't stand? I can't stand the defenses running down to the other end of the field after they've done something.
Yeah,
that's your job. You know what I mean? I understand. If you had a pick six or do whatever, you had a big play at the end of the game, I get it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do it like, I got an interception, let me go run down the field. And then, what I mean? It's like, come on. And then your offense just went 3 and out, and now you're back out there, and they scored on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, come on now. It's like, just play the game the way you're supposed to play it. Hey, celebrate. You just got an interception.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do a little dance. Do the whatever you want to do.
Right.
But don't go running down to the end of the field and, I need to get in the camera. Get the hell out of here.
But that's what we're going to. That we're going to as the younger generation of football players
exactly. It's
and
different.
coaches. You know, the old school coaches are kind of fading away. Like they keep talking about Bill Belichick. I'm like, hey, he might be on his way out. I'm like, man, that's crazy.
That's the same. There's a new generation. There's a new generation coming along. So I have a question for both of you.
Uh-oh.
Both of you here. So I want to know, everybody's in the hot seat right now.
I'm sweaty over here.
Who do you feel from both teams has more to prove?
Jamie first. Guest.
So I think still Dak. I feel like Dak is the one that's got to prove it. I mean, Jalen Hurts just lost the Super Bowl and really probably had the MVP performance of the Super Bowl in a losing effort. Here's arguably. I mean, obviously what Patrick Mahomes did to win that Super Bowl was amazing, but I think that they're not going to give the MVP to a losing player because
which they have.
They have in the past, but they're not going to do it anymore because it's Disney now. Because you just lost the Super Bowl but won the MVP. What are you going to do next? I know. I'm going to get out of this freaking uniform is what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't feel like saying I'm going to Disney World. You know what I mean? So it's always going to go to a winning team now. To
they're going to find somebody on that team that did something.
So, but I that being said, beyond this game, obviously this was the last game was the first game between Dak and Jalen, and you guys, for the most part, have had our number,
right?
Except when games that matter,
right?
Like when the game has actually mattered, that's when Dak has not really played his best.
And that's what everybody talks about.
So I feel like that this game matters, and if Dak was to lose this game, it would be a big blow for him. Yeah. Like I think more than Jalen. Like if Jalen loses this game, I mean, if we lose this game, we're still in first place in the division. Yeah. So it's not like and you guys are about to go into your gauntlet of your season where it was easier getting up to this point.
And that's what I've been telling people, because people are like Cowboy fans themselves. They're like, I don't see us, beating the Bills or maybe even beating the Dolphins. And I'm like, well, then might as well just not go to the playoffs then. If you're not going to go beat the Bills at Buffalo.
To be close.
I'm close.
They can't hear you.
That's right in front of me.
Throw the shoe away.
Hey, I got the sandal over here. If you're not going to go to Buffalo and beat Buffalo in the snow or whatever the hell's going on over there and their crazy weather, if you're not going to go to the Dolphins and beat them at home also, then why are you going to go into the playoffs? I mean, that's the kind of environment that you're going to go into. You're going to go into the 49ers. You're going to go into Philly. You know what I mean? So you gotta get this going. That's the teams that win. They get a good run right before the playoffs. When you want to lose 2-3 games to get in there.
And that's the other thing. I looked at last week and I wonder are the 49ers peaking now? Mm-hmm. Because fine, peak now if you want to. Yeah. I want to peak in late January, early February. Yeah. That's when I want to be playing my best football. Right. Exactly. We haven't played our best game yet. And because we haven't played our best game yet and now are only 10-2, mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That just has helped us out even further. Like I said, I think if we play a very complete game here, that we'll come out on top. And it's I keep going back and forth that this is going to be like a lower scoring game. And when I think about a lower scoring game here, like it's not going to get into the 30s. Mm-hmm. It's going to be like a 28, 25, 26 game. Like it's going to be a close game.
Close game.
I think so. I think whoever has the ball last wins this game. Yeah. Not like last time where you guys had the ball and lost the game.
Yeah.
So I think that it's going to come down to whoever has that, and it could be that Dallas wins this game because I think it's going to be that close and that much of a fight. I wonder if your defense is a little sketch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You guys are letting up a lot of points.
We came in into this season saying we have a good defense. We just got to get the offense going. That's what we came into the season, and it showed in the beginning. Like, okay, cool. We shut out the Giants. We're like, all right, they were in the playoffs last year, so okay, the defense is going to show up, and then. They lose to the Cardinals, and then we're like, "What the hell? Why couldn't you guys stop them? Like, what's going on here?" So,
and I thought that was a setup game.
Yeah,
I felt
definitely.
that was because obviously it was our defensive coordinator who's now coaching there, so he knew Dallas pretty well.
Yeah.
So it was a setup game for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, it's the first time that we probably cheered that coach in a couple of years because I wasn't really a big fan of his defenses and the way that he called his defense.
Yeah.
However, he did get us to the Super Bowl, and of course, we blame him for the loss too because he was just going to stay in Arizona. So,
no, exactly. And that game, I still think about it. When I look at the record, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We still, how did we lose to the Cardinals? How did we lose to the Cardinals?
And when you think about it. When you think about it last year, even, how did you guys lose to Brock Purdy?
Mm-hmm.
I know the 49ers had a good defense, but you had to score more points. You just had to score some more points.
But touching on Purdy, do you feel that he's like an elite?
No. I feel like Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. He's a good system quarterback right now with what they're coaching. He threw the yards after catch was 213 yards. He threw for 313 yards. So, 2/3 of the yards were after the catch. He didn't throw the ball further than 10 yards. Yeah. So that being said, when you have to make him throw the ball down the field, he's going to have more of an issue, and that's why they're making it fast, dink, and dunk. They're doing a newer version of the old West Coast offense. Yeah. And that's kind of how he's able to evolve into a good quarterback. Yeah. He's a good quarterback. Yeah. Is he an MVP? I don't know that I think that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll be honest, I feel like Dak has more going for him on MVP than Brock Purdy does.
Yeah. And that's where I guess I'm getting stuck in trying to figure out the 49ers. I know it's like we're talking Cowboys, Eagles right now, but because of, we're talking about trying to figure them out because the media is so on Purdy and he should be MVP and this and look how, they beat the Eagles and look how they beat the Cowboys. But it's like, I don't know. I just don't feel it. And I don't feel like he's like that. Like you're saying, like an MVP type quarterback. I don't know. It's just something that.
I think he's got an MVP team around him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think McCaffrey is more of the reason why. If Debo's okay. You know what I mean? I think Debo gives. He's like a weapon. He's just another weapon. Yeah. I think McCaffrey is what makes that offense really go.
Absolutely.
You take McCaffrey out of the equation, and all of a sudden that's a stagnant offense. Yeah. Because you saw exactly what happened when it was just Debo. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then. Even when you take the quarterback out, when they don't have a quarterback, they couldn't do anything, obviously. Yeah. So it's you need everybody to do their job well. Yeah. And that's what they're doing. Yeah. But are they peaking now? That's kind of what I looked at.
Yeah, exactly. So coming up with this game, Eagles and, you guys losing against, the 49ers in that big game. And then obviously that other loss against the Jets. What do you feel like the Eagles have to do different playing on Sunday night?
Well, I think the energy level is going to be higher, just in general. I think that they put out all of their energy in the first quarter against the 49ers, and that's going to be more that was going to be more of the next meeting. If we see them in the playoffs, that's what it's going to look like a little bit more. Now, obviously, they had -6 yards in the first quarter, so I got to imagine they're going to do a little bit better than that throughout the game. Yeah. However, it's going to be more like that because the energy level was high at that point, and then it just died. They were gassed. Yeah. This is going to be a lot different of a scenario. They have the rest now. You know what I mean? They took the time off. They're more energized for this game. Yeah. This is Dallas. You know what I mean? They don't want to lose the division. Yeah. They want this to be the game that shows, okay, let's get our first full game together, and let's do it on your turf.
Yeah, and both teams are going to have to come
Yeah,
strong.
and most teams that come here, they bring it. That doesn't matter. They bring
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. Do you feel like Hurts is going to run more?
Yes, I think that he will use his legs more.
He's gonna have to.
Yeah, I mean, it's first off. I mean, Micah Parsons is a beast, and I can't wait to figure out what happens when he gets to free agency because I think he wants to come to Philadelphia.
Okay, so, oh no,
But,
oh no.
but that being said, I what was it with the other game? Was it against Seattle? The last play of the game? How do you not block him? How do you not block him? He just run around like that was the last play.
He's not going to get in there. It's like really, but I mean,
and it was definitely the running back missing the assignment. Yeah, I saw what happened, but I'm like, oh my god, you better block him. And I think like this is our offensive line is much more formidable.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that the games are won in the trenches.
Yeah.
And I think our offensive line stacks up well against your defensive line, and our defensive line stacks up well against your offensive line. The problem that I have is that our cornerbacks are not doing the job well enough right now.
Yeah.
When you're 32nd against the pass, there's only 32 teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
So obviously you're not doing your job. They can't run the ball on us, which sounds great in theory. The truth of the matter is that nobody's ever trying to run the ball on us because they're keeping up with the pass game because they got to catch up with us on points, so they try to get ahead of us by so much because they feel like that we're never out of it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I have a question for you, and this is just like I am seriously asking a question. I'm not being mean, but it's like, do you feel like your quarterback is an all-around elite MVP quarterback? Because if we look at numbers like passing yards and things like that, he's not up there. So I want to know, like, your opinion.
I feel that he is. When I look at it, I look at the top tier quarterbacks, and it's like you have Patrick Mahomes, and then you have like everybody underneath Patrick Mahomes, and you find out Patrick Mahomes is human now because of all he doesn't have anybody to throw to either. So you could really put them all on the same level, and I kind of put him in on that level because ultimately it doesn't matter how many yards you threw for, whatever. When you're winning the games, the record speaks for itself, and being 26-2, or 26 now and 3 in the regular season is great numbers to have. So, is he playing MVP style football? No, I don't believe that. I believe that he's got a lot more that he could be doing and should be doing to be able to win games more. That being said, I wouldn't vote for him for MVP this year. I think he's playing well. I think he could play better. And if he was to come out and like if we were to rock you guys this Sunday and then smoke Seattle and then win against the Giants the one time, because that's really all we would need. If we win the next 3 games, we got home field throughout. So then that ends that. But I don't know that even that would be enough to vote for him as MVP. I'd still have to go with like Lamar Jackson right now, as long as he holds serve. You know what I mean? If he's starts to stink up the joint, then then I guess it could be anybody's game.
Even listening,
I think he's hurt, isn't he, Jackson? They said something about.
I was trying to a little bit more on that because I was like, hey, what's going on there? But it's like when it comes to, as we're talking about like Hurts and you feeling that way, it's hearing them talk like, like let's say like a Good Morning Football, whatever it is, sports show, and you hear them talk about, with this upcoming game with Hurts, and they're saying, well, they should sit him, the Eagles should sit him out, right?
Yeah, so, that came from David Carr, and there's a reason why he's sitting behind a desk when he's as young as he is, and he was an idiot. That's why nobody wanted him as a quarterback. That's why he couldn't even make it. He couldn't even make it as a quarterback. So listen, when idiots want to talk, somebody's always going to listen, and especially when they're paying them money to do so.
Yes.
Obviously, that's fine. He could say whatever he wants to. Like, who's the other one that I like? Colin Cowherd. He's actually not so bad, but the Skip. Skip Bayless. Of course, he is definitely on the knob of the Cowboys. You know what I mean? Like, he's definitely slobbering all over that stuff. But I mean, he's got some of the worst, most ridiculous takes. And he does it just trying to get under Philadelphia's skin because that's where some of his ratings are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what he tried. He tried to make himself relevant in Philadelphia, and I'm like, I don't even, I don't listen to idiots. You know what I mean? There's no need for me to listen. Yeah. However, a lot of other people do. I'm not saying that you're listening, but it's always fun to talk about.
Hey. I got to listen to everything. Since I'm the one that asks all the questions here, I got to bring it all
Listen,
out.
you got to get on the hot seat. Sometimes you got to put the fire back the other side.
So in that case, forget the tree in between us right now.
Here comes the shoe.
I think we have more comments. Did you want to read some comments?
Do we have more comments? We have 28 more comments.
Oh my God.
Let's see.
It's good.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Thank you guys for commenting.
We just have to go through them real quick. We're over an hour.
I know, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You want to go over the comments? Because, I mean, I can keep talking football, but I don't think we should.
Here, I left up right here. We got Adam, CC, Cowgirl fans always messed it up. Jerry Jones getting the money for the Reds. I think he means refs. Yeah, refs. See, there we go. I'm Philly guy. I'm not gonna be mean.
Hey, you know what? I will say that Jerry Jones loves trolling me. He's trolled me. He's trolled me for years now. It cracks me up ever since the COVID game when I brought True Blue with me to the game. Yeah, and he sent down his security to give a game day book to True Blue. He said, and they came down, looking all official in suits and everything. Compliments of Mr. Jones. Where's mine?
I know.
Where's mine at?
Like, I see you. I got you.
I think people are going at it over here. We got a Bolso Torres saying Adam sounds like he's scared of the Cowboys going to beat the Eagles this Sunday. So now we got to go with.
I think people are kind of going back.
Keith Hamill, keep dreaming. Now, here we go. Now they're going at it. We're over here trying to do an interview. It's always the Cowgirls thing. They can't come up with something new.
I usually say cow turds.
Oh my God.
That's a new one. There you go. That's a new one. I've never heard that one before. Cowgirls aren't going to win. They haven't beaten any teams, winning record. So that, like you were asking about, who do you think needs to do something, Angie? I think, we got to beat the Eagles. We have to, because they keep saying we don't beat teams over 500. We just beat the Seahawks. So we gotta win this game. We have to win this game, not just because we want to go on a run, and it has to start now. Because it's not going to get any easier, but also because of this whole thing that we can't beat any teams, we haven't beat anyone, and blah blah blah. Other teams,
and you wonder how much the players actually think about that. Like I mean, obviously you can only play who's in front of you. You guys are 9-3. Just so happens that the 3 games that you've lost have been against winning teams. So, well, actually not true because Arizona was not winning. So, but you lost to the 49ers and you lost to us. So it's not like Seattle. I mean, you can't help that Seattle is now 6-6.
Yeah, but I mean, it's crazy though because I feel like we're not. I say I'm not going to talk football anymore, but it's like
let me go through this and then we'll talk about it real quick. Sorry, I'm not going to go through the back and forth with that. I'm just going to read the guys. We're trying to do a show here. We're trying to interview Jamie and stuff. I understand the Eagles Cowboys rivalry. This is the first time that's
what I say. When I do my bike, I don't even bother with the comments. Hey, listen, I appreciate the fact that you're commenting.
Thank you guys.
You guys can read them later.
Thank you for the comments.
Thank you for the comments. I'm going to go with Lucille.
That's my aunt.
Lucille, way to represent Eagle fans, Jamie. 12-man, go Birds. There we go. What's up, Auntie?
And actually, her son-in-law is actually down here with the bachelor party, and they came down here for a bachelor party.
Really?
So shout out to the bachelor party. I'll be catching up with you guys later.
Sergio Rangel says Jets got Philly. Trap games are something. I can't.
Well,
That was real. I figured the S and the A are close to each other because I got big thumbs. Yeah, I know exactly. I mess up all the text all the time.
Let's see what else we got here. I'm not reading all that crazy stuff.
After the Jets game, I'll be honest, I felt that we lost that game because they went out and they watched the Phillies play the night before.
You think so?
I know so. I know so.
I mean, the Jets can't. It's like we're talking about. They don't even have like a set quarterback. It's like all that drama. Did you hear?
They thought that they could just win the game. They thought that they could just win the game, and they didn't. And that's and they were ahead most of the game up until the point where they didn't have anything left in the tank because they were out the night before. And I know because I was out the night before. I was at the game watching the Phillies, and then went to the Jets game the next day. And I know exactly how tired I was.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go with
last comment here. We got Aaron Birdman. He says, "What's up, fam? What's up, Aaron?" He says, "Get on Philly." And Aaron in La Casa. What's up, bro?
Hey guys, thank you guys so much for commenting and interacting. We love it.
Yeah, thank you. What were you gonna talk about?
That's it. We just talked about it.
Oh.
That's about the Jets game. We had a full-on conversation, and you're all in a world.
No, I was just trying to go through the comments, but I didn't want to go through the back and forth. You suck, I suck, everybody sucks kind of deal. But thank you for the comments. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We got a lot of new people watching us. And
thank you so much.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to our sponsors, La Sirena Mexican Seafood and Bar, Front End Inc., and Juana Taco, and Mr. David Martinez Entertainment.
Obviously, thank you to our guests. Thank you so much for coming along. It was fun. It was good.
So I have to ask before we go. We have to get asked. Now I got to ask one question. What do you think's going to happen for the game?
Yeah, that's usually what we say at the end.
Yes.
Like, what do you think?
You guys
Scores,
can have that conversation.
Scores. Yeah, Angie doesn't like to say
I don't
scores.
like to say scores.
I think it's going to be a tough game. I don't think it's going to be an easy game.
I do feel like it's not going to be an easy game. That's for sure.
But, we need to win this game. We just have to. We have to win this game. Not just for the season or whatever, but we just need to win this game. Somehow they have to figure out to win this game.
So what do you think the score's going to be?
I think it's going to be, in the 20s. In the 20s, like Jamie was saying. So I'll say 24-21 Cowboys.
Okay.
Close game. We win by a field goal.
Okay.
That's an under. That's an under, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a little bit more scoring than that.
Do you think so?
I think it will go back and forth. Like I said, I have it at like 28-26. I kind of feel like, and how do you get to 26 points? I don't even know anymore. But it's absolutely possible to do so. But I think it's going to be something like that, and I think that it's going to be one at the very end of the game.
Yeah.
And I think that it could be us that does it. You know what I mean? I feel that your defense is porous enough that we could do that. Like, even though you got the one guy who's got 5 pick sixes, broke the record and everything, he gets beat a lot.
Bland.
You know what I mean? Because because that's what happens when you get those pick sixes. You're jumping those routes, right? And he may. Who knows? You may even have 2 more before the end of the season. Yeah. But that also leaves you vulnerable to get beat. Yeah. And I think that's possible here.
Yeah. And I feel like the Cowboys have to just make sure, that's what I was asking you about Hurts, that run game, right? It's always, that's how they usually get beat. So got to make sure that they have that, figured out, or else but it's going to be a crazy game. It's going to be a really good game. So
absolutely. I want to say thank you, Jamie.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Go Birds. Yeah.
Give us the little song or something. Come on, you're here.
Okay,
why not do it?
I might as well. I'm not going to sing the song because I only do that after touchdowns and victories. But I will definitely do EAGLES, Eagles, go Birds, yeah!
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in and all your comments, and we'll see you guys in the next one. And like always, Angie, go Cowboys!
Woo!
Say
There's a delay on that one.
Say bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.